156%. That is how much BYD's Australian sales grew in a single year. Not 15, not 50, 156%. In the first 2 months of 2026, Chinese automakers claimed 24% of Australia's new car market. Almost 1 in every 4 new cars sold in this country came from China, up from 14% at the same point 12 months earlier. At the Australian Automotive Dealer Association conference in March 2026, the accounting firm Do put that number on screen for a room full of dealer principals and car industry executives. And the brands that have been selling here for 40, 50, 60 years are now watching their market share disappear in real time. We track the VFACTS data for every brand that is losing ground. Here are the 8 brands that the Chinese invasion is directly damaging in Australia right now, and what it means if you own one of their vehicles. Before we get into each brand, one set of numbers frames everything. In 2025, BYD sold 52,415 vehicles in Australia. GWM sold 52,809. Chery grew at triple-digit rates. Together, those 3 Chinese brands outsold Isuzu Ute, Subaru, Honda, and Volkswagen combined. At the same time, Mitsubishi fell 17.9%, the biggest drop of any brand in Australia's top 10. MG fell 18.4%, Nissan was down 18.7%, Suzuki dropped 27.7%, Ford fell 5.8%, and Volkswagen was down 35.4% in November alone. The total market was still running near record levels. This was not an industry collapse. This was a redistribution. Money and buyers moving rapidly from established brands to Chinese alternatives. Here is where it is going, brand by brand. Brand 1, Mitsubishi. Down 17.9% in 2025, the steepest fall of any brand in Australia's top 10. And the headline figure understates what actually happened. In January 2025, 3 of Mitsubishi's most important models were axed from the Australian lineup in a single move: the Eclipse Cross, the Pajero Sport, and the original Asks, all failing to meet updated Australian design rule requirements for autonomous emergency braking. Those 3 models combined accounted for 38% of Mitsubishi's total annual Australian volume. Gone. The CEO of Mitsubishi Australia resigned in September 2025. His replacement inherited the role on January 5, 2026. And before he left, the outgoing CEO said something that should be heard by every Mitsubishi owner in Australia. He said the market is too small for the number of brands fighting in it, and then added, logically, there will be extinction of some brands. We plan to survive. Plan to survive. Not grow, not lead. Survive. Mitsubishi has over 200 dealerships in Australia and a 10-year warranty commitment. Short-term security is real. But discontinued models from a brand in contraction do not produce strong resale values. Watch your Red Book numbers. Brand 2, Nissan, down 18.7% across the first 11 months of 2025. Every single model posting double-digit declines. The Qashqai, the Navara, the Pathfinder, all down. There was one bright spot. The X-Trail posted 2,438 deliveries in March 2026, up 25% year-on-year, with a hybrid confirmed. One strong month after a year of structural decline does not reverse a trajectory. Nissan owners considering selling in the next 18 months should be watching their car sales listing times. When cars start sitting longer without offers, the market is telling you something before the trade-in valuation does. Brand 3, Suzuki. The biggest percentage fall of any established Japanese brand in Australia in 2025, down 27.7%. And 2 forces hit simultaneously. The S-Cross and Ignis were both axed from Australia in early 2025, failing the same EB requirements that took out Mitsubishi's lineup. Then, in December 2025, the Fronx, the new compact SUV Suzuki was counting on to reverse the decline, received a 1-star ANCAP safety rating. Poor occupant protection, a seatbelt failure, mandatory recall, Brand building and safety recalls cannot happen at the same time. The Jimny remains one of the strongest value holding small vehicles in Australia. Genuine demand still exceeds supply. But every other Suzuki carries the weight of a brand where 27% of annual sales just evaporated and the flagship new model needed a recall in its first year. Brand 4. And this one is the most ironic story on the entire list. MG, the Chinese-owned brand that pioneered mass-market Chinese car sales in Australia, is now being eaten by its own countrymen. MG sold 41,298 vehicles in 2025, down 18.4%. In November alone, total MG deliveries fell 3% year-on-year. The Zs down 57.6%. The Hs down 52.2%. The MG4 down 82.3% in a single month. MG's position was built on offering strong specifications at low prices. That position disappears when BYD, Chery and GWM arrive with newer platforms, fresher technology, and in some cases, sharper pricing. The problem with being the affordable Chinese brand is that the title does not survive when every Chinese brand is affordable. For MG owners, the brand has SAIC behind it and is not disappearing. But the buyer of a 2022 or 2023 MG is now competing on the used market against new Chinese alternatives at a similar price. That produces lower trade-in offers. Every time. Brand 5, Isuzu Ute, down 12.2% in 2025. And the reason this one matters is where the decline is happening, the ute segment. The part of the Australian market that was supposed to be immune. The BYD Shark 6 plug-in hybrid ute broke into Australia's top 5 selling utes in its first months on sale. A Chinese ute, sitting in the same monthly charts as the Ranger and the Hilux. By November 2025, the Shark had pushed the Mitsubishi Triton to 5th. The D-Max, consistently a top 4 performer, was down 11.1% year-on-year. The BYD Shark does not yet have the regional fleet trust that the D-Max has built over decades. But it is now in the conversation permanently. And once a Chinese competitor is at the table in the ute segment, the dynamics that have reshaped every other category begin to apply here too. This channel publishes new research every week on what is actually happening in the Australian car market the data dealers already have that most buyers find out about too late. Subscribe now. Every video we publish could save you thousands of dollars. Brand 6. Volkswagen. And to be clear, Volkswagen is not going anywhere. The brand is established and will be selling Golfs in Australia for years to come. But a brand that sold 60,225 vehicles here a decade ago and 28,970 in 2025 is a brand that has quietly lost half its Australian market. Down 20.6% in 2025, down 16.8% the year before. November alone down 35.4% year-on-year, despite, as Care Expert noted, plenty of fresh product available. Chinese brands undercut from below. The new vehicle efficiency standard pushes compliance costs into European pricing from above. And the DSG reputation, the $3,000 to $4,000 mechatronic repair bills we have covered on this channel, stays in every informed buyer's research. When a brand's sales halve over a decade, the pool of buyers competing for used examples halves with it. Fewer buyers. Lower offers. Brand 7. Jeep. And specifically, the Grand Cherokee. Because no other model in the Australian market tells a more dramatic story of what happens when a brand loses its reason to be here. In 2014, the Grand Cherokee was Australia's best-selling large SUV, 16,582 deliveries. In 2024, 645, a 96% decline. And in early 2025, Jeep officially removed the Grand Cherokee from the Australian lineup. They called it a pause. Right-hand drive production of the current generation has reportedly ended. No replacement is confirmed for Australia. Stellantis has made a 3-year commitment to the Jeep brand in Australia. But a commitment made under pressure does not guarantee a specific model's future. Cars Guide said it plainly: if sales keep sliding, even a 3-year commitment is only delaying the inevitable. If you own a used Grand Cherokee today, you own a discontinued model from a brand fighting for its own future. Parts support is intact for now. Resale trajectory is not a mystery. Brand 8, Ford. And we are precise here, because Ford is not in crisis. The Ranger is still Australia's best-selling vehicle. The Everest is growing, Ford is a top 2 brand and will remain one. But Ford was down 5.8% in 2025, and the mechanism behind that number has a specific consequence for anyone buying a new Ford in 2026. The new vehicle efficiency standard came into force on January 1st, 2025. Ford's fleet, dominated by the diesel Ranger, sits on the wrong side of its CO2 targets. The compliance costs get embedded directly into the vehicle price. Analysts expect the Ranger to get more expensive in 2026, not because demand has weakened, but because regulation has tightened. A more expensive Ranger widens the gap between new and used. It makes the BYD Shark 6 more competitive than it was 12 months ago. That gap is only going in one direction. Every brand on this list is measured against the same benchmark: the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. Retained 81 to 84% of its value after 3 years, according to Canstar's 2025 analysis of Redbook data. Toyota fell just 0.6% across all of 2025 in a year when Suzuki fell 27, Volkswagen fell 20, and Mitsubishi fell 17. That gap is not marketing. It is what happens when decades of proven reliability and a national dealer network that never contracts meet a market full of buyers who have been through enough car ownership to know what they actually want. The Australian car market is sorting into 2 groups faster than at any point in its history: the brands with the trust, the network, and the evidence, and the brands being squeezed from both directions simultaneously. The buyers who understand which list their car is on will be ready. The buyers who find out at trade-in will not. Subscribe now. Every week we track what is actually moving in the Australian car market before it moves past you.